Out of the 14 available options, the ranged weapons are some of the most powerful ones that you can use in Monster Hunter Wilds, providing a deadly offering of both high burst and high sustained damage, allowing hunters to very deliberately target specific parts quite literally, which oftentimes can be harder to reach higher up parts, whilst also providing that additional breathing room, comfort and safety you get from fighting at ranged. This can be very appealing to many players. All three of the ranged weapons are very popular choices, but they're not without fault. They do come with a trade-off. All of that extra firepower and distance that you can keep from the monster is in exchange for taking significantly more damage. That said, the extra room does make evading easier, and all three of the ranged weapons can be excellent matchups versus Omega. I've put together a deadly, very potent high damage build that both zaps and indeed claps, with plenty of room for adjustments to make it more defensive if you wish, which I'll go through. I've already done one of these for dual blades, so if you're a fan of the weapon, definitely check that one out too. And if powerful builds and guides are your thing, you can subscribe for more, but either way, let's jump in and maximize your OP-ness. The weapon of choice is the laggy Acris Light Bowgun Thundercrust Rex, boasting solid raw, neutral affinity, your standard 3-2-1 deco slots, and of course there's no sharpness because it's a ranged weapon, with the mod's rapid fire magazine and elemental boost magazine added in. Feel free to use whatever special ammo you prefer. On the equipment skills, we've got 2 levels of Tetrad Shot and the laggy Acris unique Convert Thunder Resistance, and I've slotted in 3 Thunder Attack 1 Ballistics, 2 Ballistics with a Precise Duel 2, and that 3rd Tetrad Shot with the Bandolier Duel. If you want to put an attack or a crit boost instead of the Tetrad Shot, that's fine. I also messed around with swapping the Thunder Attack for crit boost, and overall I just preferred the Thunder Attack. For the helmet, we're using the laggy Acris Helm Beta. It comes with 2 levels of maximum might on the equipment skills, which is super tasty. Generous 3-2-1 decoration slots, in which we have a Challenger Jewel for Agitator 1, a Destroyer Jewel for Partbreaker 1, and a Shockproof Jewel for Shock Absorber if you are playing in multiplayer. And will be one of the pieces for the set bonus Leviathan's Fury Azure Bolt 1, increasing your affinity by 15% for 20 seconds, and dealing a small single hit of lightning damage, with a cooldown of 30 seconds once the duration has expired. The chest armor is the Ray Sandmail Gamma, absolutely loaded with 3 latent power on the equipment skills. With something different in the socket here, we're going to go for a Dive Jewel 1 to give you Leap of Faith to allow you to do the Superman dive in any direction, even facing the monster, and will cause you to jump further. I just find this really handy with a Light Bowgun when you need to get out of a sticky situation. It will also be one of the pieces contributing to the 2-set bonus Thunderous Roar 1, moderately extending the activation time of latent power by 30 seconds if I recall correctly, and one of the armors of the 3-set group skill Guts Tenacity, boosting attack by about 5% whilst lowering defense for around the same, and also allowing you to survive 1 lethal hit much like Moxie does, which if you activate will remove the attack buff and instead boost your defense and resistance. These set bonuses will of course apply to the other corresponding pieces, but I'm just not going to repeat it again. For the arms, we'll be using the Ray Sand Braces Gamma, which comes with 2 Evade Extender on the equipment skills, which is super useful versus Omega with any weapon, but in particular the LBG here. And we'll be angry maxing by slotting in 2 Challenger Jewels for 2 levels of Agitator in the deco slots. On the waist, we'll be using the laggy Acris Coil Beta, coming in with the delicious Weakness Exploit 1 and Maximum Might 1 on the equipment skills, and we can make really good use of these available deco slots with 2 levels of Partbreaker and 1 Thunder Resistance. Last but certainly not least, with the armors, on the legs we will have the Duna Wild Greaves Gamma, boasting 3 levels of Quick Sheath and 1 Agitator on the equipment skills, sneaking in that ever-efficient single level of Burst with the Chain Jewel, and Thunder Resistant Jewels for the remaining levels of Thunder Resist in the ones. I did also test out not using Thunder Resistance, because the way the bowguns use Elemental is slightly different from your regular weapons. I didn't feel like it was adding too much damage, so you really can go for something else like Fire Resistance or Stun Resistance, that's absolutely fine. For the talisman, I'm going for one of my very aggressive RNG charms. It has a tremendous attack boost 3 and 1 final agitator to round it off to level 5, and 1 level 2 armor slot in which I'm putting the 3rd evade extender. That is all of the pieces of the puzzle in place. Let's zoom out a little and take a look at all of the equipment skills that it gives us. Attack Boost 3, Thunder Attack 3, Ballistics 3, Tetra Shot 3, Convert Thunder Resistance 1, Agitator 5, Latent Power 3, Maximum Might 3, Thunder Resistance 3, Heartbreaker 3, Evade Extender 3, Quick Sheath 3, Weakness Exploit 1, Burst 1, Shock Absorber 1, and Leap of Faith 1. It also benefits from the set bonus skills Raydow's Voltage, Thunderous Roar 1, Leviathan's Fury, Azure Bolt 1, and the group skill Lord Soul, Guts Tenacity. Your affinity comes from your Agitator, your Latent Power, your Maximum Might, that single weakness exploit, and your Leviathan's Fury, whereas your power is generated from the Attack Boost, the Tetrad Shot, the Thunder Attack, the Convert Thunder Resistance, the Agitator, the 3-Part Breaker, the Single Burst, and the Guts. Zappy LBG go bzz. This thing packs some serious venom, and I've got a few tips on how you can use the LBG effectively to help you get the most out of it in your hunts versus Omega. First things first, for the majority of the fight, you are going to be aiming for the front legs, as front is blunt and ammo, and back is slash. This already is super nice because many of the people you'll be playing with will be using slashing weapons, and will be primarily focusing on the back legs. Here you're going to be putting out some serious damage on the front legs, and will quite easily get the part breaks as well with your level 3 part breaker. If you're ever unsure of the hit zone values, which damage types and element types are effective, you can look them up in the large monster field guide, amongst other useful information such as drops. Be mindful that thunder ammo does have piercing properties, so depending on which angle you're shooting it from, you will get more or fewer hits, and you'll very easily shoot through the leg over to the head, building up and even grabbing aggro. Keep this in mind for when you do intentionally want to grab enmity so that your tank can get a break and remove the HP debuff. When your rapid gauge is full, which by default it will be, use it. This allows you to rapid fire your rapid fire rapidly. In terms of your firing technique both in and out of rapid fire mode, you can just keep pressing attack to fire off your thunder ammo, and that's fine. If, however, after each individual shot you press circle or attack button 2 to execute a chaser shot, you'll fire more bullets, they'll do more damage, and it still costs 1 ammo. The trade-off is it has more of a time commitment and a longer drag. And if you do this outside of rapid fire mode and your gauge isn't full, it'll replenish more gauge than if you just do the regular shot. Not to mention that this is more efficient usage of your ammo, which you do not have an unlimited amount of. Speaking of, take Thunderbug capacitors with you so you can craft more ammo on the fly. You don't have to do chaser shots every single time they're available, that'll certainly get you dunked, but if you can do them more often than not, that'll be super helpful. If you prefer the safety of just doing your shots, the damage is probably overall higher because it's faster, you can do that too. There's pros and cons for both. You don't have any guarding capabilities with the Light Bowgun, you are heavily relying on your evasion, and given that you can keep a decent distance from Omega, you should have enough time to react to the fire AoEs, which are the ones that will really catch you out, not only evading to the sides of them, but even evading backwards completely out of them. As with each of the ranged weapons, you always have focus mode active whilst you have the reticule up, so you should be able to see wounds as soon as they pop up, which is just as well because you have 3 part breaker, so you are hitting wounds for big damage. Just remember the trade-off here, people. You do so much damage because you also take so much damage. You are very squishy. It is of vital importance that you have a tank and that the tank has enmity as much as possible. And that is everything that you should need. You've got the full build, you've got some tips on how to play LBG, either as a refresher or for the first time. Give it a spin, let me know how you get on, and what talisman you're using, unless you just so happen to have the exact same one I do. If you haven't caught the dual blades build yet, that one's great as well, definitely check it out. And if you're still looking for some tips on how to beat Omega or Savage Omega in the first place, I've done 2 lots of 12 tips guides, one that's more kind of core and another that's more advanced. Check those out, they will definitely offer something of value to you. If builds and guides like this in Monster Hunter Wilds and other games too are your thing, you can subscribe for more. But either way, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you in the Forbidden Lands.